You see the same thing in Chicago and New York. You see the same thing of the way that people have taken over the streets of Seattle and Portland. And one thing that you find behind it all, you have a disrespect and sometimes a defunding of law enforcement. In Texas, we support our law enforcement officers, period. For me, this is more than just a slogan. My niece serves in the San Antonio Police Department, making sure the streets of San Antonio are going to be safe. You know, when you see proof, not just in these other cities across the United States, about the catastrophe that occurs when they defund the police, we've even seen it in Texas. Yeah, who said that? There's always one. Yeah, from back there to up here, I heard the same thing. Austin, Texas also defunded their police, and the result was predictable. This past year, Austin, Texas set an all-time record for the most number of murders that occurred in their city. Well, let me tell you something. As you might imagine, as your governor, there's no way that I would tolerate defunding police. And so I campaigned on and got these great legislators to pass a law that will defund any city that defunds police in Texas. Oh, that's right. And it was fun to watch because after I signed the law, as the days were ticking down to when the law went into effect, Austin was scrambling as fast as they could to refund every dollar they had defunded police. Now Austin police are fully refunded again. But I think we all know, and candidly I could tell from your cheers earlier, that you know as well as anybody that another area where our safety is endangered as much as any is because of Biden's reckless open border policies. You know, it's idiotic because the truth of the matter is Trump had solved the border crisis. He implemented 4 things that all Biden had to do was carry on the 4 things that President Trump did. He imposed the Remain in Mexico policy, the Title 42 policy to make sure that people with health conditions don't cross their border. He ended catch and release, and he began building the border wall. Those 4 things led to multi-decade lows in the number of illegal immigration coming across our border. But Biden got rid of it all. And I saw Secretary Mayorkas on TV this morning talking about how they're not going to be arresting people who are violating laws passed by the United States Congress prohibiting illegal immigration. Their agenda, their administration, is in reckless disregard for the United States Constitution and the laws passed by the United States Congress. Texas is not tolerating it, and we have stepped up and done more than any state in the history of the United States to secure our border. It starts with these lawmakers again, because these lawmakers provided the resources that we needed to be able to secure the border. They passed $3 billion for Texas to secure the border just over the next 2 years alone. And that money goes to, among other things, making sure that we deploy National Guard and the Texas Department of Public Safety down to the border. If I could, let me get your prayerful thoughts and consideration for just one moment. You know, it's great to cheer the fact that we send men and women down to the border. And just like other situations, people may not really appreciate or comprehend the challenges that they face. Overnight, a Texas Department of Public Safety special agent was involved in apprehending some people who were not just here illegally, but were smuggling drugs in the United States. And during the course of that operation, there was a vehicle accident. And the Texas Department of Public Safety special agent lost his life. This is the very best of Texas. The men and women who are willing to put their lives on the line to arrest lawbreakers to make sure that you and all Texans enjoy the kind of safety that we rightfully deserve. So I want you to go home tonight and pray to God for the family of this officer, a family who lost a husband and a father and a son who meant the world to them. But I want you to also know that they have a governor who also feels like they mean the world to us Texans, and they have a governor who has their back. So what these DPS officers have been doing, this is not the first time last night. They've been cracking down on drug smugglers. They've been doing this every single day, and I got to tell you a reason why they needed to escalate it. And that's because of the record-breaking amount of fentanyl that's coming across our border. 2 tiny milligrams of fentanyl, which is smaller than 2 grains of salt, is a deadly dose. And law enforcement in Texas, just over the past year alone, have seized enough fentanyl to kill every man, woman, and child in Texas, California, Illinois, New York, and Florida combined. This is dangerous, and that's why we have our law enforcement on the border to try to keep fentanyl out of communities like Bexar County, where we do know that it is invading. Another challenge that we know is being faced in Bexar County and San Antonio is a consequence of these open borders, and that is the horrific crime of human trafficking. And to better address human trafficking, these lawmakers passed, and I signed this past session, 15 laws cracking down on human trafficking in Texas. We will not stop until we completely eradicate the scourge of women and children being trafficked across our border, across our state, and put an end to this crisis, a human crisis of human trafficking. And then on top of all that, also to crack down on the drug smuggling of fentanyl, they passed and I signed a new law to address this new crime. It is now a felony in the state of Texas for anybody to manufacture or to distribute fentanyl in Texas. We will arrest you, we will put you behind bars, and you will stay behind bars for a long time of your trafficking in fentanyl in Texas. And now Texas is building its own border wall to keep Texas secure. And we're going to keep building that border wall. Build. All right. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But y'all need to understand this. As much as the issue about the border and border policy is on the ballot, and understand this, Beto, when he ran for president, he ran to the left. I keep making that same mistake. When Robert Francis O'Rourke when he ran for president, he ran on these same open border policies that Joe Biden put in place. The worst thing that could happen to Texas is if you had a governor who was joined with Joe Biden in his open border policies. We cannot and will not allow that in Texas. But just as important as that, your freedom is on the ballot this election. And that starts with the First Amendment. Your First Amendment includes freedom of religion. And know this, when Robert Francis O'Rourke was running for president, he said that he would eliminate the tax-exempt status of any church that did not bow down to the woke liberal agenda. I will not allow that in the great state of Texas. And what comes after the First Amendment? Let me tell you something. There is no way we're going to allow any of these crazy radical leftists to come take your guns. I have signed more than 20 laws protecting your right to keep and bear arms, including, right at the Alamo over here, making Texas a constitutional carry state. And making Texas a Second Amendment sanctuary state. You know, what we're dealing with is something that you need to fully comprehend. I know you support these policies, and I know something else about you. You all love the United States of America. You know, like I do, that the United States of America is the best country in the history of the entire world. But listen, as much as I know a lot of you love America, candidly, I know there are people in at this event tonight. Some of you love Texas even more than you love America. But here's the part. Here's the part you need to come to grips with. You need to wrap your head around this over the coming months. There are people in this state. There are people who are running for office who do not love America the way that you love America, who do not like Texas the way that it is today, who want to take office and redesign the state of Texas to look more like their leftist liberal image and to destroy America as we know it. We here in San Antonio, we got news for them. We are not going to let that happen. The way that we save America is the way that we win Texas. And when we win Texas, we will keep our state the best state in the history of this great nation. Thank you all for being here. God bless you all, and God bless the great state of Texas.